Hi there, welcome. The story begins with Marion Venner, the CEO of WILDLY, a technology business that specializes in developing companions for people. He promotes their products and services on television, emphasizing how much comfort his creations can provide to their owners. These highly trained girls are actually artificial intelligence robots that have been programmed with people's memories. Next, a man named William comes to WILDLY, and Marion praises his involvement in the company. William is a representative of this technology corporation, and he is there to get his robot. He enters a room where a lady is. Meredith has already prepared for him to go home. William has recently lost his wife, and WILDLY offers him a second shot with Meredith in a lovely home. He recalls when he first met Meredith. She came to see him as part of her advocacy for the end of the wife-like relationship, with which she had always opposed. However, life can be amusing because the same corporation has recently offered her another opportunity at life. William brings her home and teaches her how to be his wife, and she recalls being his wife. They ultimately spend time holding hands. After holding hands, William invites her to spend the night in bed with him, but she reminds him that she needs to charge her battery overnight. When she enters the room, she notices a mysterious figure with a mask watching her from a nearby tree. However, he disappears before she can discover out who he is. She also discovers other diaries belonging to the original Meredith, which she briefly reads through before berating herself. The next day, while preparing breakfast for William, she notices some locals criticizing her wife-like behavior and later discovers that some of her acquaintances have vanished. It's evident that they were kidnapped by members of SCAIR, a protesting group. William works in a team at WILDLY that is in charge of returning stolen companions, so the news of their disappearance means he must find them. When he goes to work, Meredith puts on some of her regular clothes and makeup. However, a robot finds it difficult to apply cosmetics. She messes up her lipstick. At work, William's mission is to locate two missing companions. When he starts seeking for them, he luckily runs into one of them, Wendy, who has fled. She is wearing an electronic band around her neck that has been set to electrocute her if she moves too far away from the facility where they are being detained. Fortunately, William discovers her in time and disables the band before she sustains further injury. Wendy informs him about the other two, so he goes to rescue them. He finds them, but just before he can save them, a man aims a gun at the second companion. However, William shoots at him and saves the second companion. Meredith charges her battery at home before falling asleep. Here she meets her interactive dream operator, IDO. After agreeing to the dream, she is transported to her birthday scene. She meets William here, as well as a masked stranger who hands her a card featuring a bird resembling the figure from Angry Birds. She then returns to the IDO to inquire about the masked man, but he informs her that there is no record of a masked man. Meredith denies his request for a report. However, she demands that her knitting mode be activated, and the IDO obliges. She uses her new expertise to crochet a pillow with a picture of the bird from the card given to her by the masked man. Later in the day, she decides to try riding a bicycle, but a strange lady startles her, leading her to fall off. This lady encourages her to remember who she is, as time is running out. Meredith informs William of this, but he dismisses it, telling her that many women dislike companions because they take their husbands away. Meredith then delivers the knitted gift to William. However, he does not appear to be excited. He informs her that Meredith never learned how to knit. Later that night, Meredith comes upon the IDO while preparing to dream, but some of her dreams are locked. The IDO decides to give her a random dream in which she encounters William. However, William is not the man in the mask who stands before her. Meredith panics and asks why he is following her. She tells him she doesn't remember him, so he grabs her as if shaking her would jog her memory. At the same time, William awakens her. She inquires about the masked man, but he tells her not to worry about him because she has had a nightmare. Meredith begins investigating her previous journals because she is curious as to why the masked man is chasing her, especially when he claims to know everything about her, including things she has forgotten. One day, William is summoned to locate a missing companion, Lisa. He follows her to an apartment where she works and goes inside to pick her up. However, she has changed her appearance and name and refuses to return to William. She also tells him that she dislikes her current owner. William tells her to return, but she refuses, claiming that she fled voluntarily and that no matter how many times she is reprogrammed, she would never love her master. They chat about friendship. William is unresponsive, so Lisa is compelled to leave. She escapes, however, and chooses to commit suicide by jumping from a height. Meredith returns home, where she is visited by the enigmatic Lady Louise. She informs her that the man in the mask wishes to see her in person, but Meredith is not in the mood. She tells her to go and threatens to disclose their encounter to William. On the other side, William returns Lisa's body to his wife, discovering that the firm is now interested in a new project called Childish, which is an artificial intelligence software that generates children. William expresses worries about the new project. His meeting with Lisa has led him to assume that certain companions can be reprogrammed, potentially injuring or killing their owners, and he is concerned that this is not a good concept for the youngsters. However, the company's CEO remains resolute about his concerns. Meredith later knits another Angry Birds pillow for William, this time from his face. William does not appreciate it much. When she informs him about her meeting with Louise, he phones his colleague Jack at home. When Jack arrives, they create a strategy to let Meredith sleep while they search for the masked man Keen's address. They put her to sleep, and the IDO transports her and Keen to a surreal world. Jack and William keep track of her dreams as she sleeps. In the dream, Keen finally removes his disguise, revealing that their memories have been erased. Then he provides her an address so she may see him as soon as she wakes up. When she wakes up, she finds William and Jack prepared to take her to the location Keen specified. Meredith is a little confused. She tells them she recognizes Keen's face, but William advises her to stay at home since he and his partner are going to Keen's address. Upon arrival, they discover a trap. He has already gone. William gets home and discovers Meredith. She claims that Keen put a book on their doorway but did not harm her. She believes he may not be a terrifying person. However, William informs her that Keen has exploited her for evil purposes, including bombings. William chooses to accompany Meredith to the dreamland to find Keen, who has always been difficult to catch. Jack advises him of the dangers of doing so, as if something goes wrong, it could cause irreversible harm to his head. William accepts the risk and continues to enter Meredith's dream. He ultimately sees her in Keen's dream, and after advising Meredith to flee, he starts fighting with Keen. Unfortunately, Meredith disappears in the jungle and seeks assistance from the IDO. The IDO transports everyone in the forest to a different setting. He tells everyone to go since he is about to continue his fight. Keen believes Meredith will ultimately remember everything, but William says he is willing to continue deleting her memories. Meredith hides in the background, watching the two struggle and accidentally hearing William's words. Soon, William begins strangling his opponent. But Meredith's charge is depleted, so she is forced to exit her dream state, waking up William. Jack is upset by William's encounter with Keen in Meredith's dream. He cautions William that taking Keen's life is unlawful, but William is adamant that he will do everything to take Keen away. When William returns home, Meredith protests that she no longer wants to delete her memories, but he persuades her that it is in her best interests. Then he arranges to take her to the hospital for memory wipe. In the institution, she meets other companions who want to topple wife-like. Meredith is perplexed by how they recall their previous lives, but they teach her how to preserve her memories in the random files of dream mode. Meanwhile, Louise provides Jack's girlfriend a file of Jack's, which she presents to Jack when he returns home. When Jack arrives, he examines these files and is astounded by their contents. He goes to find William and confronts him with the file's contents. It turns out that this file contains the truth about Keen. William killed Keen, which is why they couldn't find him when they went looking for him. He only existed in Meredith's memory. That's why William is so determined to obliterate her memories. Jack chooses to arrest William for the crime. However, William justifies himself by stating that he has always loved Meredith and knew she was meant to be his. Jack takes out his gun but isn't quick enough, and William shoots him. Meredith enters shortly after and confronts William about the deaths of his colleagues Jack and Keen. As it turns out, Meredith now has access to all of her memories. She wasn't always a companion, but she was part of SCIR. One day, she went to William's house and requested him to sign a petition against WILDLY, and William was immediately attracted by her. Despite her having a boyfriend, Keen, William grew enamored with her and began to follow her. One day, he arrested Meredith and Keen. After creating charges, William shot Keen, then killed Meredith, put a ring on her finger, and took her to jail as his wife and friend. Fortunately, her recollections were hidden among her random memories and did not totally disappear. The IDO also grants her access to these files. Looking back, she wonders William's wrongdoings. Then she enhances her power and fights William, killing him in the process. With William's departure, Meredith is revealed as the leader of SCIR, and at the end of the film, she rallies her co-workers against WILDLY. William is transformed into an artificial intelligence and is now on a mission to find the CEO of SCIR, while Meredith works to put an end to this wicked business. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.